Good afternoon and welcome to Pets on Parade, which is brought to you by 3TV. I'm Ashley Goebel from the Arizona Humane Society. We're so glad you could join us today. We've got a great show in store for you, especially if you're a pet lover and love furry friends. We've got lots of cute adoptable pets for you to meet. Boise is one of them, and this is one smart bulldog. Later on in the show, we'll show you all the tricks that this trained canine has mastered, plus tell you about our low-cost dog training classes and how your dog can become one of the most well-mannered canines on the block. And when Brownie arrived at our shelter, his life was on the line because he was so infested with ticks. We'll tell you about the recovery he made, which included a blood transfusion in just a few minutes. And this kitty here is a true survivor as well. She was treated for a life-threatening virus called Pan-Luke. We'll tell you his story and how you can prevent your kitty from contracting this often fatal virus. First, I want you to meet my co-host Joey, a super affectionate 8-year-old miniature pinscher who is house-trained and leash-trained. He's even good around kids. I spent the day with him last Sunday, and we had such a wonderful time. We went to lunch, and he was great with the other dogs on the patio. Then we went to the park, and he ran around. Now, his front legs are a little deformed, a little longer in the front than they are in the back, but he ran around the park and had a great old time. He gets around without a hitch. And as you can see from this picture, he was pretty tuckered out that evening, and he fell asleep in my car on the way back to the shelter. But Joey is a very special dog, and he's going to make a great companion for someone out there. Just come on down and meet this love bucket. Now, when Yodi arrived at the Arizona Humane Society back in June, he was lethargic and very sick. Our medical team ran some tests, and they found that this little kitty had the Pan-Luke virus.
Yes, he did. And at 14 weeks old, this little guy is quite the survivor. And as you can see, he is very statuesque. He's just been very content sitting here and being admired by the camera and everybody around him. He's actually quite the little survivor. Pan-Luke is the equivalent of a puppy having parvo. So symptoms can be vomiting, diarrhea, fevers, and in really bad cases, seizures. So luckily, our vets at Second Chance Animal Trauma Center were able to get him diagnosed, and foster heroes Larry and Joanne took him into their home, and they were 24-hour round-the-clock care for Yodi. And it really is a willingness on the kitty's part to survive this disease, because it really just takes a lot out of them. So now that he has fully survived, he's ready to go up for adoption, and he is just an absolute amazing little kitten. He loves to just curl up in little spots on the sun, get up on your lap, be on the keyboard, hang out with you, and he's very well mannered, loves to play with his kitten toys. So if you're looking for that special cat who's just unique look and actually just amazing, then Yodi may be just the kitty for you.
The only way that you can prevent your young kitty from contracting the Pan-Luke virus is to ensure that they receive all of their vaccinations. Both of the Arizona Humane Society's public veterinary clinics are offering $19 vaccinations throughout the month of September. You can call the number on your screen to make an appointment or come to our walk-in clinic, which occurs every Friday. Now, those of you who have driven to Tucson know that there's not much along the I-19, but that's exactly where a Good Samaritan found this golden retriever cattle dog mix in Perry. Daisy was wandering in the lonesome desert in the heat.
Right, Ashley, one of the hottest months of the year for little Daisy right here. She was severely dehydrated and had some really whopping blisters on her paws from that hot pavement, a super elevated temperature also. And that Good Samaritan gave her some water, but then brought her to us where our Second Chance Animal Trauma Center took over. That is the trauma center that treated over 11,000 animals last year. You know, over half the animals coming into us now are requiring some sort of care like this. So Daisy made a full recovery, and here she is right now. She is a mix, I think, of a lot of little things. I even see a little bit of Sheltie in that face. She's got such a gorgeous little happy smile. She's really very, very, very sweet. 8 months old. This puppy's going to come onto this dog at some point. She is just a really, really sweet dog. The volunteers love her. She's very submissive. She rolls over on her back for belly rubs. She is one great gal who has made a total recovery thanks to the Second Chance Animal Trauma Center. Come on down and ask us to see Daisy.
All right, it's time for this week's incredible doggy makeover, where our volunteer groomer Lisa gives a shelter dog a new do. This is Sandy when she first arrived at our shelter, and here she is now. Wowzers, Lisa, you can't even hardly recognize her. You did such a good job. Sandy looks just ravishing. I'm sure she feels so much better, too.
She does feel so much better. The poor girl first came in when you saw her like that. She had this very sweater on. I've taken it home and laundered it because she is fond of her sweater, and so it's going to go with her to her new family. But yeah, she was very painful, and pretty much when you touched her, if you picked her up the wrong way and it pulled on her hair, she would yelp. I mean, it actually does hurt them. They get sores and bruising on their skin from being matted like that. So she is 2 years old, and she is only 7 pounds underneath those matted locks. As you can see, she's thin. She's got some long legs. We believe her to be probably Maltese. Her hair is straight, but very, very fine. She's very soft. And she is looking for somebody who understands the importance of grooming, because it makes a little dog like this so happy and healthy. She was out in the lobby giving strangers kisses. She loves to roll over onto her belly for belly rubs now that she can scratch her back, and she absolutely enjoys the attention now. She will require a little bit, of course, of a grooming responsibility, but before you leave, you should probably talk to our behavior people about how to associate grooming with some positive things for Miss Sandy, because she should be getting treats as you comb her so that she realizes it's not going to hurt anymore, and her new family will make sure to keep up on her grooming responsibilities. But she is adorable, sleeps in bed with her owners, they say, so be prepared to have somebody very close to you if you think of adopting Sandy.
Looking ravishing with that cute little ponytail. Great job, Lisa. Now, our team of animal rescuers were called to help a tiny little orange tabby kitty who somehow got stuck in a dryer vent. After renovating the family's bathroom and cutting through the drywall, the team was able to disassemble the dryer vent and finally reach that small, hungry little kitten. The kitty, now known as Miko, is only a few weeks old and is currently being raised in the Arizona Humane Society's kitten nursery. And this time of year, Miko is one of hundreds of kitties who were raised by compassionate volunteers and staff who ensure that each kitty receives a healthy start. And caring for these kitties isn't easy. It requires constant monitoring, including feedings every 2 hours, even through the night. But once they reach 8 weeks old, Miko and all those other kitties in the nursery will go up for adoption. And you can find out how you can support, donate, or volunteer in the kitten nursery by visiting azhumane.org. Now, it was another hot day in August when our animal rescuers found Bowker. And Perry, this little guy was pretty sick.
Right, Ashley. Found in a gutter in Ellsworth and Broadway, and in pretty bad shape. Again, like you said, hottest month of the year. Very, very dehydrated, and so badly dehydrated the eyes were totally crusted over and off. Again, she went to that Second Chance Animal Trauma Center, and this little one is an absolute doll. You know, the paramedics or the EAMTs that came to get her, they're not just ambulance drivers. They didn't have to wait to take her back to the shelter to administer medicines to her, because that can take time, and then that can mean the difference between life and death in a lot of cases. So those EAMT drivers are specially trained to administer medicines right at the scene. So they did set IVs, they gave her some fluids, and that probably made a big difference in Bowker's life right here. So she's a little bit shy. She loves to be held. She's a very, very mellow, low-key little kitty. Adorable, very snuggly, and I think is just thankful to be alive at this point, thanks to those EAMTs. So if you're really looking for a real survivor who's going to, I think, be with you all the time, I think Bowker is your little kitten here.
Yes, thousands of animals are definitely thankful for our EAMTs. All right, well, does your kitty bring you gifts, maybe a bird, a lizard, or a bug? Well, if you're like me, this may leave you puzzled or perplexed, but stay with us, because when we come back, feline expert Liz will join us to explain the science behind feline gift giving.